It's already going because it takes time to connect to YouTube, but I think that we are already online. But just okay? Yeah, yeah. I will. They are connecting. You know. I'm just checking if tá saindo o áudio. Hum.
Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today for this special conversation with Kata Shelby, our new chief food scientist and value part of Amazing Foods Brazil. So, Kata, thank you for joining us today. My pleasure. My pleasure. To start off, tell your association's members about your background and what led you to working with Amazing Foods Brazil. Most important, you have amazing foods from Brazil. I love Brazil. But I'm a food scientist who specializes in the science of ingredients across the value chain, where it's produced, to how it's processed, to how it's put into products, to see what it does during processing, what it does to the human body, and ultimately to put it into goods that go into the market and to communicate in such a way that they have commercial success to create market demand. How did I come to Amazing Foods Brazil when it was still called ABIMAPI? I still remember the day, May 23rd, 2016. We were all in Chicago for the Sweets and Candies show, and you asked me to come in and talk to both ABIMAPI and about trends, what's important for that sector. Most of all, what would make food companies from Brazil do well here? It's my fondest day because with that, I don't know if I adopted you or you adopted me, but I'm now part of a family that I absolutely adore and I'm very much a part of, and with vested interest in making sure that we see you succeed in the marketplace. Thank you. It's our pleasure. You do a lot in food innovation. So, what is the most exciting global trends we're seeing today? So there's something very big that's happening right now. The biggest trend, I would say, is a convergence of health, transparency, and sustainability. And it's coming together so nicely because consumers now want to eat foods that's good for them. They don't just pick a food because it tastes good. They want to make sure that that food is good for them, for the planet, and they also want to make sure that that food is made by a company that cares, and that means company that cares about the environment, about its people, about the women in the company, all of that. So for companies that are in your portfolio, this is perfect because they're grain based and the allied foods. These are foods that people eat every day. But now we're choosing them because it's good for us, it's good for them. So the innovation that we're seeing is people able to stand for their foods, to help people understand why this is good for them, and most of all, to convince people that this is the way to help them. How do these trends influence consumers in the next few years?
Consumers are getting very very smart. And so what is happening is that when we're seeing this trend with, say, plant-based, so it's not just looking at plant-based, but the plant kingdom. Brazil has so much in the plant sector. You have a diversity. Your diversity, you know, but I sometimes say that is the best kept secret. But you should not keep it a secret. It should be something you should tell the world about. So your consumers who are already on TikTok, on the various platforms, they're all talking about it. Now it's time to see those foods here, because you have the perfect biodiversity, the culture, the technology, you follow the regulations, you are transparent. How can we get you to be our partners and serve us the same food? Food that's delicious, food that's good for us, food that's good for the planet, and food that treats people well.
And are there any specified ingredients or product categories that Brazilian companies should keep an eye on?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So ancient grains, you know, you have regular grains, then you have ancient grains. You've got all these different, you know, amaranth, quinoa, teff, all of that. And your ecosystem, your agricultural sector is so good with that. But then you've got this huge, what can I call it, cornucopia of beautiful fruits, vegetables, and plants that are not only unusual, but they are good for you and they taste so good. So Brazil is our future. So everybody in every country, particularly in the US, is looking for innovation. You don't have to look far. We just have to look south and see what Brazil has. What can I put into my product so it's good for me? So as I see the trends, I see Brazil being the future of innovation with ingredients that are natural, that taste good, that have color, that are brilliant, and even children would like it. So we can move away from all that's artificial to go something that's really natural, that nature has provided. What do you think?
I agree. Absolutely. I agree with you. So talk about your sample size and the business and the what tell us over the last 10 years. Something that you can share with
So now you know women and I, big subject. So my observation has been that women occupy a disproportionate, what should I say, presence across the food chain, right from growing it, producing it, harvesting it, manufacturing it, even in the plant where packaging is mostly women. And then it goes to retail, distribution, and in the grocery stores, women are mostly shoppers. They buy, they choose the products, and they also are the people who influence their families. So what a family eats has to do with what that woman chooses. So women have such a good place. But you know where women are absent? When there's decision making and when the profits are being shared. So my goal is to move women from that service role to the C-suite, to decision making, to leading the strategy. So I have, you know, some unique opportunities. I advise, for example, I mentor sub-Saharan entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs who are in the food sector. As I see this, I see the opportunity in Brazil, where women could be leader. Like you influence so many people. People listen to you. They come here, they watch you, they see how you dress for this, how you present. That's the role that I have, to teach women to succeed in what is largely a man's world. Because when you bring women in, every woman does things for herself and her family. And by the way, I think the future of food is female.
totally agree with you. So, what is your challenge, woman in our industry? Could you tell us more about it?
Yes. You know what the challenge is? The leaky chain. There is a leak in our industry. So women enter the industry, they are young, they're innovative, got a sparkle in their eyes, they have great ideas, and then they get married, they have children, and they take a step back. They take a step back because our industry has not made an adjustment and said, no, when you're raising a family, you can work this manner. Here are the things you can do. So as a result, they step back. And when they step back, there is a big gap into it. And that gap makes a big difference. So the challenge is to making sure that companies realize that supporting a woman is not just having a lactation rate. It is supporting them through the management role, making them leaders. Because when you make a woman a leader, she's automatically thinking about her family, about the community. So your company behaves differently. That is a big thing. So, for example, when people invite me to talk, and if I'm the only female on an all male panel, I go, how about bringing another woman or two more women? And they go, we don't know anybody. I have five. You can pick from five. And I make sure that they get into it. So we need to make sure. I love what Amazing Foods Brazil has done. You have so many women who are not only talking about their products, but they understand their business and they are demonstrating that. So the buyer is seeing that and saying, oh, this company understands who the buyer is, because they're women too. That makes a big difference.
I see. And could you tell us a personal story or example that inspired you in your career?
My personal story is that of my grandmother and then my mother. They came at a time in a country that was chauvinistic, were male oriented, male dominated. They were not even allowed to go to school. But they were very, very focused and they understood that this world, as it grows, is going to be a world of women. So they taught me to speak, to stand up for rights, and to do things correctly. But what they also taught me was to be influential as a woman. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to shout. You just have to be damn good. When you're good, people notice it. So I've been focusing on companies, and I see a woman and make sure they understand their business. They know the cost, they understand money, they understand science, and they understand how to communicate. That's not just knowing English. It is how to communicate the value. Because women think that way. We are always thinking. So when my professors, I only had male professors. I was one of the first women in chemistry, physics. You didn't see too many women. But my grandmother said, just be good. Very good what you do. So even if you're the only woman in the field, cannot miss you. So that's what I've done. Try to be really good at what I do. So not miss you. So my note to women is you're already good. Now show the world how good you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing because you're so inspiring. So now we are talking about regulatory tsunami that's more complicated. So it has a lot of thinking about front back nutrition and healthy. Could you share with us your knowledge about this complicated thing? But that I know that you're not.
See, regulations are always going to be there. And if we don't watch, regulations are going to come from a sector that has a vested interest, like this new classification that in these new regulatory front of label. It's scaring people, it's fear mongering. but it really doesn't have science. The future is in science. The future is in communication. So if you're a food company, particularly in Brazil, in Latin America, where you have a strong culture of good food, you just naturally like good food. Your what should I say, your history has good food. You know that. What we need to learn is how to reformulate, how to be proactive, and how to stand up for what is good in our food naturally without having them to say what you've got is wrong. So my suggestion is know your business, but most of all, know how to communicate why your product is good and the unintended consequences of skipping your product. So be very proactive. Look and see, is there anything I can change? Can I improve it? And then go after it. So the various regulatory fronts, they can come and go. But if you make a product that's not only tasty, affordable, it's good for you, but you're also transparent, and you explain why you use certain ingredient, a consumer is going to say, forget regulation. That's the product my family is going to have. So I always tell people it's not satisfaction, it's loyalty. Because, imagine if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, do you want a satisfied girlfriend or boyfriend or a loyal girlfriend or boyfriend? That's what you want. Your customer is satisfied, but most of all, loyal. Can only be loyal if they trust you. So learn to get their trust and maintain that trust. That's more important than anything else.
Thank you. Could you tell us about intolerances, like health diseases, the food industry?
What kind of intolerances?
Diabetes, celiac, this kind of.
Yes. So we're always going to have intolerance or an allergy. That's what you're asking about, right? Yes. But the way you make your food and the way you describe it will very clearly tell people what is good for them or not. Celiac disease, which is gluten sensitivity and gluten allergy, that's a genetic condition. You can actually test it. So some people have it. But gluten intolerance is something different. So depending on which audience you're going after, make sure that your product has the right ingredients and communicate to them why you have chosen which ingredient, and most of all, why it might be better. So there's nothing wrong with gluten-free products. But if all the gluten-free products are made with the same corn, potato, starch, then it's not good. Show them it has fiber. Show them it has other nutrients that's good for you. Suddenly you'll find people are choosing a variety, and instead of doing something because they were upset, they couldn't tolerate something, they're actually doing it for the good reason, just a variety of things. So I look at allergy, various conditions as an opportunity for food companies to innovate, to get new products, and put other things that make it better for them.
Thank you so much. Before the end, what advice do you have for our companies?
Be really good and care and show that you care. That is so simple. If you are really good in what you do, and if you care, you will teach your people how to do it. In the same manner, you're also teaching your consumer, your audience, why you're good, why you do something. There is no denying it. They will absolutely trust you. Trust is a very important thing. Did you know that when a baby is born, the first sip the baby takes of milk, even from its mother, is only when it trusts it? So if a baby is born in trauma, in an accident, or under a stressful condition, that baby takes a long time before it takes a sip. And you may have seen this in another place. When you see a little bird or a squirrel and you hold out your hand and you have a little seed, it will take a while and look at you slowly, and then it comes to you, but it only comes to you when it trusts you. Trust is the biggest important currency for the food industry. Because if they trust you for their family, for their children, for their parents. That is a currency you can use. So garner trust by being good in what you do, by being transparent and learning to communicate what you do so they understand. So they're not guessing. They know what you have in your food product, why it's good for them.
So, and finally, what's one thing you believe the world should know about Brazil?
So easy. The future of our industry as such is diversity. Brazil stands for diversity. So Brazil should not be a well-kept secret. Brazil should be shouted out from all the rooftops and should be something that you can talk about. For example, right now, people only know one or two things about Brazil. Let's talk about pound occasion. You know, that's my favorite too, right? Yours too. Yeah.
Pão de queijo or feijoada?
Feijoada, both of them, right? So why aren't we making a competition, for example, for pound of queijo? So people know it's different from cheesy bread. It's not cheesy bread, it's pound de queijo. It is a bread made of cheese, right? So it's not cheesy bread. So let's have a competition maybe that can say, oh, pound de queijo, maybe a TikTok, music, you know, something needs to be done. Because whenever I see pound de queijo, they look at me and I go, have you been to Fogo de Chão? They go, yes. That bread, that's my favorite. You know, I go only for that. Why aren't we putting this out there, right? That's the way to do it. So you have so many different diverse materials. Can you make that, you know, how should I say, transparent so more people know about it and learn about it? So right now, people don't know much about Brazil, except a few things. Brazilian food companies can do so much about helping their audience understand why Brazilian food is important, the trust it comes with, the quality, the diversity, and the value that it brings to everybody.
Thank you so much, Canta. I know you love pão de queijo. I know that you go to Fogo de Chão only to eat pão de queijo, not the meat, like Brazilians do. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. It's a pleasure to be here at PLMA Fair with you in Chicago. So thank you for our associates that are seeing us. And now I can speak in Portuguese. Yes. Yes. Canta can understand you. A Canta consegue nos entender algumas coisas, mas desculpa, até aí eu fico nervosa quando vejo câmera na minha frente, imagina em inglês. Mas foi muito enriquecedor. Obrigada a todos que estiveram aqui presentes com a gente. Depois nós vamos postar, vai ter tradução e tudo mais. E a Canta segue aqui com a gente. Ela veio para o nosso congresso em 2026 em Foz do Iguaçu. We will have Canta at Foz do Iguaçu Congress. So, to join us. Então, fica aí o convite a todas as empresas. E até a nossa próxima live. Obrigada.
Obrigada.